We're Batman at 89.
Hello, and welcome back once again to Bat Minutes 89, the podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and blow the ever-living out of Tim Burton's 1989 Batman film, 1 minute at a time. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
I am the other host, John Parker, or as I'm also known, Hey You Behind the Bushes.
And that giggle you heard there is from our returning guest, YouTuber, author, and all-around bard, Kiri Callaghan.
Also known as, hey, what are you doing with that?
Well, we were a good team then, all of us.
Yeah, you know.
But how are you, Kiri? Excited to be back to see some bad action?
I am so excited to be back because we left on such a cliffhanger last time with the mysterious ball drop.
Oh, yeah. Today we're talking about minute 92 of Batman. Minute 92 begins with an eruption. And then it ends 1 minute later with Prince taking us all back down to Alphabet Street. So,
Oh, I'm excited. Prince. I know, not much Prince in this. It's coming, though. Any time there's Prince, I'm happy.
You got like the kind of a nice choice of minutes, though, Kiri, because you got a little bit of Vicky. You got the Vicky Bruce dynamic. You got Batmobile in its prime. You'll get Batman. You get Danny Elfman, and Prince. So it's like, well,
I mean, I've got the cream of the crop here, you guys.
We'll pretend it was deliberate.
Aha! I have good people.
Yeah, we do get this static shot of Axis chemicals. Just drink it all in, folks, because it ain't going to be around too much longer.
Except, okay, was anyone else expecting a much bigger initial boom?
Yeah.
It kind of does this little like first before it explodes.
I have a lot of problems with the explosions, let me tell you, because everything's blowing up, but in tiny little, very fake-looking explosions. They look very rigged, or like fireworks. And like, pff.
And how? Like, we didn't see the Batmobile drop off other bombs. We saw one bomb drop, and for some reason, as it's going out, we see like poo poo. I'm like, what are those? What are?
I'm assuming we're meant to think, the chemicals are flammable, but that one
not how
bomb
it
has
works.
done this.
I don't think it's one bomb. I think it's a bomb from each tire. I think it's 4 bombs. It's
but in one location.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's true enough. But
that initially apparently just went peh. And then,
we're going to use that sound effect again. Niall, get a copy
welcome.
of that.
it's like every time I have to
bleep
bleep
its own.
Every time I have to bleep out swearing, it'll just be Kiri going pleh.
You mother peh.
The thing is, because we see the bomb when they drop, and they seem to roll back towards the Batmobile. So I was always thinking, like, would that not mean it would roll into it and then it would like flip it over or something when the explosion actually happens? But apparently,
it's a tank.
That does not.
It's anti-flip armor. Secretly, they didn't tell you that. Anti-flip armor. It's great. All the superheroes are using it now.
Oh yeah. I meant to list that when I said about the arsenal and things previously. Yeah. Now as well, I do really like the plastic model of the chemical plant here. Like, it's obviously a model.
Yeah.
But there's something charming about it, isn't there? So someone's crafted that. It's impressive.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm always a supporter of practical effects. And it's like, that looks. I mean, we'll get into it in the next few weeks, but there is some model work looking at it now, and it's like nowadays it's like that looks like the start of Beetlejuice or something. It's such blatantly obvious model, but like we'll get to that in a couple of weeks. So.
Well, I looked into the model.
Yeah.
Somewhat, anyway.
You looked into the model, and the model looked back into you.
Oh, God.
I saw my soul.
You're still with me. That's good. But I found somebody online selling part of the model, but it's only the tower bit that you see, because apparently it's in pieces. So it's quite strange.
Well, I'm assuming they would have had to blow. Maybe there's just not a lot of it left, because I guess they had to blow up quite a bit of it. So
Well, there was no price listed. I was going to buy it for the show. But also, again, podcasting is not a visual medium, so it would have been pointless. But I found it. And then I also found out that exact bit, the tower, was also used as part of the power plant in the movie Guest House Paradiso.
Oh.
What?
Which is insane, because that's basically... Well, I don't know if our American listeners will know this. Bottom, the movie.
Yeah.
It's essentially that, which is a Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson comedy.
Yeah. Bottom's such a weird thing to pitch to people because it's great, but it is like literally just like lowest common denominator humor. It is just cartoony, two guys beating each other up, lots of innuendos and lots of fart jokes and things like that. Because I grew up in it, maybe now I'm like, it's great. And if I saw it now, like nowadays, I'd be like, what in the hell is this thing? But
Yeah, I find it quite difficult to sit through, to be perfectly honest. But well, the model as well. I looked. It's made by someone called Derek Meddings, and it was based on the sketches by Anton Furst, who we've mentioned a good few times. And it was originally called Apex Chemicals. So yet another name for this place. That's the third name that
we
it could
have
possibly have.
The original Ace Chemicals, Axis Chemicals, Apex. Jeez, yeah. So
I mean, to be fair, guys, a chemical plant by any other name will still kill your enemies.
Yeah, apparently, with 1 to 4 bombs. We're not quite sure how many. But Derek was the head of the miniature and matte departments for the film. He's a busy guy, very talented, but he sadly passed away in 1995.
Oh well. I don't know why I went, oh well, that was very callous of me. Like,
Oh, well.
oh well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't need him anymore. We got CGI.
Oh, God.
Again, though, amidst all the destruction of Axis Chemicals, we get a lot of glory shots. Again, more glory shots of the Batmobile. And once again, we get some terrific music from Danny Elfman. And this track's called Charge of the Batmobile. And the thing is, you can't quite hear it underneath all the explosions and stuff.
You can't, no.
But there's a bit at the beginning. If you listen to the actual track itself, when it kicks into this bit, there's a lovely bit of it going like... And this, it's just sort of like... Because all you can hear is explosions. It just sort of starts in right away. And it's like, oh, I like that little thing. But can't have it all. You can't have it all.
Oh,
No.
alas.
And as beautiful as it is, looking at this and going, okay, well, if we just really look at this and go, Batman is callously killing at least dozens of people, because that's a very large plant. So believing that there's only like 20 guys in there seems hopeful.
Well, even if there's one guy, he's killed at least one guy for no reason.
Yeah, and with possibly the poor scientists who've been conjured. Wow. Cajoled, I think, is the word I was trying to use. I don't know.
Oh, but
I like the idea.
I want to see Joker as like a necromancer.
Yes, he's conjured them with his dark magic.
Oh, the Joker would have an awesome wizard robe as well. Like he would.
It'd be great. I put on my wizard hat. Sorry. And it's gone. No, come back. Where's my hat?
No, it's my fault.
Oh, no, I would have almost loved, and this would have been so inappropriate, but also so appropriate. But maybe if it would have been like a Joker thing, not Batman doing something worthy of the Joker. I don't know. I'm getting to the point, really. I would have loved to hear an Oingo Boingo song of Dead Man's Party in this moment. I'm not going to lie.
That'd be amazing.
Because there's something about it like, all right, let's maybe not make this, because the epic music almost sounds like we've had this grand battle and the Batmobile has triumphed. And I'm like,
hey.
Not really. You drove in and massacred a bunch of people with no effort. Like,
it's the 1989 version of drone warfare.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, it is. Because he's not even in it.
No, he's not. As we find out, he's not in the damn car.
Which is even more anticlimactic, because you're like, oh, Batman, get out of there before the whole place blows, and it drives up to him, and you're like, were you just on a Game Boy or something? Like going, hey, from afar. Also, because he doesn't seem to really be controlling it, and all we've seen him do is really voice commands.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's really done what he... Like, I want to know how it was being controlled in that moment, because it seems like it was very hands-off. And if that's the case... What were you doing for all that time, Batman?
The only thing I can think of is he somehow transferred the consciousness of his dead father into the electronics of the car.
Oh, see, now it's almost... Is it Knight Rider? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, well, I don't know. Knight Rider, I don't think he was possessed by the spirit of his dead dad.
It was, no, but I'm like, you've got like a...
It's like Knight Rider
I'd be down.
meets the Love-matic grandpa. That seems to be the
Oh,
thing.
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There is that
I like
that really terrible sitcom, My Mother the Car, from like way back in the 60s.
Oh, God!
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it, but I've heard of that. My Mother the Car.
Yeah, there's a great podcast I listen to called Cancelled Too Soon. And there's two guys that review TV shows that were cancelled in one season or less, and they got to do My Mother the Car. And just the level of excitement. Even them talking about the theme tune, it's like, this theme tune is amazing. Plus, it was also performed live by Sammy Davis Jr. for some reason.
Oh.
And it's all this
What?
stuff, like,
How did they swing that?
yeah, I think he was originally supposed to record it, and then something happened and he couldn't. But he was really like, I love this song. I'm going to put it in my sets and stuff.
It's so weird.
But,
I love the way in this, right, when everything's exploding all around, the Batmobile leaves the scene very casually. It's not going very fast, is it? It's just like...
The stakes are not high.
No. And it just strolls, well, the car equivalent of strolling, its way right out the front door and just parks up next to Batman like nothing
I
happened.
think if you look closely at the shot, I think he is doing that voice command stop thing. It looks like he's got a thing up to his face. But again, the voice command thing, it couldn't have been he was standing out going like, drive down this corridor, turn right. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
And how did he, like, has he got like a camera on the Batmobile?
Oh, maybe.
Where he can be like, okay, now my left. Okay. All right. Like, how is this?
Yeah, it doesn't make
How is
any
this working?
sense.
Was there like a radar maybe? And even then, it's like, well, if he had the radar to know where all the people were to bomb them, would he have not known if there's any civilians? He might have been like, he's taking the Joker's whole, well, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs kind of thing a bit to heart here. It's like, well,
A little bit. And it's just, okay, so why weren't you in the car? Because the Batmobile is not damaged in any way. You would have been there's no reason for him not to be in that car. Like, it's not like, okay, unless maybe this is where the trance was supposed to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's like, I'm going to send the car to do that. I'll meet the car later by getting there by, I don't know, taxi? Like...
Just imagine him hopping in a cab dressed like that.
Or like he drove it there. It's like, okay, I've pre-programmed you to do this thing. I'm in the bat suit. Now I'm going to do the actual trance. All right. Okay. By the time you get back, I'll be good. It's great. Like, what is happening?
I think now will be a prime opportunity, because this is like the last we see of the Batmobile, this movie. So I believe this may be the time to regale you all with a story I've been holding back for a while. The sad tale of Patrick McGlynn, the 23-year-old college student who stole the Batmobile.
What? How did I not know about this?
In 1989 and 90, there was MTV did a competition where you get the ads, and the ads are like they're old school MTV, like they're kinetically frantically edited. But it's
the days of VJ.
Yeah, and
Oh my God, VJs, which sounds like another sex act. Okay.
Oh God.
But the ad was hosted by Alexander Knox. Like Robert Wool came out in the trench coat and the hat.
What?
And he was all like, the Batmobile, 8 feet wide, 21 feet long, and stolen? And then there was all the thing like the newspapers going, the Batmobile's been stolen. And it turns out it's all a competition. If you watched enough MTV that day and you saw the bat signal, you're supposed to call a number, and then the prize is insane. You could win, they'll send you like the Batmobile. It would be like you would own, it didn't have an engine in it, but it had like, you would get the chassis of just the model of the Batmobile. Or one of the ones they used anyway. And then beyond that, Robert Wool would deliver it to you and give you a check for $25,000.
Holy crap. Please tell me when you say he delivered it, he somehow like was riding inside it.
Oh, well, apparently there was no engine. But there's that.
Yeah, but even if they're pulling it along by cable, I want him sat in it.
I'd have to insist he wears the trench coat and the hat as well. It's like, if it's Robert Wool showing up in like a Hawaiian shirt, I'd be like...
And some jeans.
Yeah, I kind of...
Do it.
But yeah, apparently this was won by a 23-year-old college student called Patrick McGlynn, lived in Virginia. And the thing is then, story goes quite sour very quickly, though, because he's like, oh, yeah, you couldn't drive it. And, the fact is, like, it just sort of sat there. So it's like, well, how am I going to move this thing? And, it's like, oh, I met Robert Wool and got the 25 grand. That was nice. But then they made him sign a contract saying he could not display it for money. So... yeah, no rights over to his own property, I guess. And then, but somehow after that, though, he did get it put into the Science Museum of Virginia, where it was vandalized, and the shift lever was stolen. And and then beyond that, apparently, after taxes on the 25 grand, it came down that he bought a motorbike, which like a year later he wrecked. So that's that money wasted, essentially. And then apparently, we've soon discovered he couldn't afford the $10,000 premium on the car, and he also had to pay a tax, which he couldn't do. So he got audited, and then eventually he had to just sell the car. He had to sell the Batmobile just so he could get the money to get himself out of legal troubles. Which is just like it's essentially. It seemed like they were doing him a really nice solid, and all they were was just giving him a massive problem that he had to very quickly take care of. So.
This poor guy.
Oh, I feel for him. Get him on the show, Niall. Come on.
I think I should actually reach out to him. I don't know. Oh God, I guess now this is the last Batmobile minute, so you might be like, well, you're not gonna do it. I
mean, after that, I feel like he'd be just like, I never want to see a bat anything ever again.
He did have at the end of there's an interview with him. He actually did have a nice the ending line he had was let's see where it is. He said all he has left from his Batmobile experience are photos, memories, and a futon. He bought at a now-closed Shocko slip store. And he chuckles, that futon's been with me in Colorado, the Florida Keys. It's a great futon. That's the end of the story.
Nobody's ever said that's a great futon.
No, I don't think that's ever been uttered.
But so that was the tragic tale of Patrick McGlynn.
I'm depressed now again. Why is something every episode depress me?
I've got something funny, but it's not entirely related.
Oh.
That's perfectly fine on the show. Don't worry.
So apparently, we don't have the thickest walls in my house, and my housemate is prepping for the new Star Wars, and he's watching A New Hope.
Oh.
He's been watching a Star Wars movie every day until we
That's what I'm planning to do right after this recording, so...
Yes! And apparently, right as I was booing earlier, was during the metal scene, so he could hear me booing as they're receiving medals from Princess Leia.
You should say I was booing because Chewbacca didn't get one.
I mean, yeah, like, what's that? Racism against Wookiees.
That is
disgraceful.
The flat-out racism to Wookiees. And droids in that. The Star Wars universe is very friendly. And that doesn't seem to be... That's in the cantina. That's not like, the Empire, the evil Empire. That's just local asshole Tatooiners who are just like, we don't allow droids. We don't have that serve their type in here.
Well, I figured that was probably because they take up space, but they don't pay for anything.
Oh,
they're
don't
not
drink.
Gonna eat. They're not going to drink. That's what I assumed that was. They're seen as property that would take up space, possibly take away from paying customers, and they're not going to do anything. So it is douchey. You're not wrong. But I always assumed that was driven by, we want this for paying customers, not you loitering teenager droid things.
See, that makes loads of sense, because last week it dawned on me, with the prequels in mind, why it might be the case. But again, bear with me with this. I thought, maybe it's because, if you remember, the enemy were droids. They were robots.
Oh.
The separatists were a robot droid army. So maybe that's why there's racism. It's like they were seen as evil.
See, that's a good... Both of them are perfectly good explanations. And I think maybe Kiri's one could theoretically, maybe George Lucas thought of that. That one, your one also makes sense, but there's no way he thought of that back then.
No.
But speaking of automatons that just needlessly kill things.
The thing is, this automated Batmobile he's driving, because I think
he's not driving it now.
Well, he's controlling it somehow. But I think this is a thing in Arkham Knight. I think you have to escape the Ace chemicals while it's blowing up. But the thing is, with all the Arkham games, they really get into the whole idea of Batman's stealth, and he needs to get in, he'll have to infiltrate, to go in, to find clever ways around things, to get in, to get somebody. Whereas this Batman is just like, there's a fly in my room, I'm just going to burn the entire room down. Like, it's literally, I want to kill this one guy. I'm going to blow up an entire building. And
spider!
Screw
Kill
it.
it! Kill it with fire!
Collateral damage doesn't matter to this guy as long as he gets the job done.
Also, why would he think Joker's in there? Like, that's another thing. Is like it. Okay, we know that you know that's the home base, but there's no reason for him to be there, especially as you know.
Yeah.
Because at this point, the videos happened, right? About.
Yeah, shouldn't he check?
Yeah.
And there's not. Like, at this point, he's already intercepted the broadcast and talked about the 20 million?
Yeah, 20 million. Yep. 20 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he knows he's going to be at the celebration. There's no reason for him to be at the plant, yet he goes there first. It makes no sense.
Maybe that's why he's gone there. Maybe he's like, Joker's out. Now's my chance to blow the hell out of this thing.
It might be more he's thinking, maybe this is like an hour, maybe there's like a gap of an hour or something where it's like, I'll get him, he'll probably be there getting ready to go for this parade thing, or this parade he's about to start anyway. And so he's like, I'll get him right at the source. So before he can even leave, I'm going to, maybe, but then again, because we're skipping ahead a little bit, but the way it cuts, it seems to be like, yeah, Joker's in a helicopter, and then he's instantly back at the parade. So we don't know how much time has passed.
Yeah. Also, how is he in a helicopter? Where did the helicopter come from?
Like,
was he waiting? Was he waiting? Because there's no way Access Apex, whatever chemical place this is called, has a helipad. No. The way that's built. So it's not like he's like, you missed me, and I'm like, no, because you weren't even there. You've been hanging out in a helicopter for some reason, waiting for him to be there, and be like, so you can point and laugh at
just
him.
Hovering
I don't know.
around. Like, wouldn't you hear that?
Yeah,
they're quite loud.
No, because he's not even in the car. So that's how. This is really just a sad tale of why technology can never do a bat's job.
Everything about Joker in this chopper is fantastic as well. I love it. And for instance, the first thing he says, "In the air, Junior Birdman."
Oh,
what?
Yeah,
What's he talking about?
Weirdly prophetic because.
Right?
Birdman,
I was gonna say it's secretly he knew Michael Keaton would go on to make this other movie.
Maybe that's why he took the Birdman role. He was like, oh, that one line that Joker said to me in Batman.
It's fate. It's fate.
Oh gosh.
But no, apparently the Junior Birdman is a thing. It was,
it's a thing? What?
Yeah, apparently Junior Birdman was a national organization for boys and girls interested in aviation and model plane building, founded by the Hearst newspaper chain. So, it's like William Randolph Hearst. That's the guy who came up with it. But,
from Deadwood?
Yeah. Well, they called him it's some slightly different name.
Apparently it's barely based on the guy.
It's still a really weird thing to say at that moment.
Yeah, what the hell? Will Batman get that reference?
I mean, if it's about the Junior Birdmen were involved in model plane building, is this an indication that Joker just built this helicopter?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
It does look like a
While
model.
he was taking his time to do his meditation, Joker built this.
Well, he seems to do everything else overnight. You know, he kitted out his men in Joker branded attire overnight. Where's he got this bloody Joker coloured megaphone?
Somebody's job was to paint that megaphone as well. He's like, I want this megaphone's no good. Go paint it orange. Like,
yeah.
All right.
He's a creative.
He's very consistent, and he's got a bright green helicopter. So like, it's not just the megaphone. It's very. Oh, it's so gaudy.
Well, not only is it green, it's got the Joker logo on the side there as well, if you look.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say, because Mac McDonald, the goon in front of him, he's wearing a Joker cap now as well. Yeah. A purple cap with the Joker's face on it. It's like, where do these come from all of a sudden?
Can we talk about... The Joker has a branding specialist. Like, there's no way. Like, in such a short span of time, he's gone from Jack Napier, just random, like... thug guy to Grissom, faceless, more or less, to I've got a whole set of merchandise.
Oh, wouldn't it be great if like part of the plot was he was selling the merch to people as well?
Oh God. Oh my God.
It could be that there's actually
just
we've not
so
seen that this film's actually set over a period of like 2 years. Like it's actually taken massive gaps between them having like it takes a while. Like that helicopter we had to assemble, that took weeks to do that, you know?
They cut out the part with him meeting with various like PR firms and like, well, all right, well, here's what I want to establish. I think I'm really gonna lean into the mad clown shtick.
Oh, he's a creative powerhouse.
But I should note as well, as he throws the spotlight on the Batman, one, you get the magnificent example of the hero turn, which Michael Keaton had to do because he couldn't turn his head.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's a great turn.
And that pose.
And well lit. Dun-dun.
But you also see as well his belt fall. Like his belt's up and it falls a good like...
Oh my gosh, it does!
I didn't even notice that myself.
I just rewatched that one bit. It's really fascinating. I could watch this on a loop.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
You know what I think it is? I think it's literally because he's got his chest in a very particular position when he turns around. And, like, to puff up your chest like that, you gotta kind of suck in. And I'm wondering if, like, his belt was one place, and then because he sucked in a little, like, that's why it falls. That is not... I can't unsee that now.
Nope.
I've watched it
It's
on a
ruined
loop
it.
like 5 times. Boop.
I was asking the question now. I was like, is Batman sucking in because the Joker's here? He's like, oh, the Joker's here. Like, gotta look cool.
Gotta look impressive.
I gotta look imposing. You just said Junior Birdman to me. This is gonna cramp my style.
Maybe that's why he was late. He was hitting the roids before he headed out.
I'm going with my headcanon, though, that the Junior Birdman thing is like, that's Joker saying that to his men. Because he's like, you know, we're the Junior Birdman. We have assembled this helicopter into the air, Junior Birdman. And Batman just happens to be there. He's like, oh, here he is.
Oh, I do love the look on Batman's face as well. It's kind of
Yes,
priceless.
I was hoping we were going to talk
he-
about that.
He's furious.
He's so unimpressed.
Yeah,
He's got the dad lip purse. Like, son, you get out of that helicopter right now.
Come down here.
You are so in so much trouble, young man.
And like, did he think it? Like, did he think he'd let me start that again. Did he think he'd blown the Joker sky high? Like, was his plan just to go in and murder him completely? He was never going to bring him in for like questioning or anything.
That was his whole thing. Is I'm going to blow up this whole chemical plant that this guy is in, and that's going to take care of that problem. It's just like it's just like, oh, you know, my shoelace touched the urinal, like the floor of a men's room. Got to throw out both pairs of shoes now. Like it's just overkill of just like. You could do this so many other ways, but he's like, no, you know what? I'm just going to blow up that whole factory. Don't care how much it costs.
You know
I
what?
don't care who else dies.
Maybe that's why he's so mundane about I've got to go to work, because he's just like, you know what? I'll be back, honey. I'm going to just throw a grenade and I'll end it. We can come back. We'll finish this conversation. It'll be fine. Back in no time.
And as the helicopter exits the scene, I don't want to, have a go at these people because I'm sure I would be much worse. But did they just add this scene in at the last second or something? Because it's clearly a little toy. This thing, it's like, there's no way that's a helicopter. It's a little plastic toy.
I think they were hoping that because he's the Joker and, like, his whole shtick is kind of tacky little toy things, maybe they're like, it's intentional. It's by design.
Yeah, it kind of does work. Maybe it's a nod to the 60s show. You could say.
It does kind of look like it's straight out of the 60s
Yeah.
show, I'm not going to lie. It's very Tinker Toy.
But I will say as well, before in the original, well, not the original draft, in one of the later drafts, and I think it's in the novelization, I think it's in the comic book, the Joker actually has another thing here. I'm surprised they cut it out, but I do have a theory as to why they cut it out that I'll mention next minute.
Ooh.
But apparently at this point he's supposed to say like, oh, meet me in Gotham Square in like an hour or something. I'll kill 1,000 people every hour until you do.
Every hour? Holy
and that's
crap.
Yeah, and that's his ultimatum, is his taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 kind of situation he's given to the Batman here. But for some reason they cut that out. It's like,
Oh.
yeah, well, we can discuss potentially why, because I've got a theory as to why they cut it out when you see the crowds. Because
But that's next minute, is it? Next minute? Friday?
It's weird, though, because it's sort of like... And I feel like he does this so often in the entire movie, where it's like, he's right there. Why aren't you doing it now?
yeah,
Like,
Why are you doing anything?
there's so... Yeah, like, and earlier when he thinks he's shot and killed Bruce Wayne, he leaves Vicky there. I thought the entire point was, we're gonna kidnap you and bring you away and you'll be part of this plan or whatever. But he leaves her there.
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's multiple things where I'm like, you don't have a plan. Like,
I think one of the drafts of the script he does abduct Vicky Vale. It's a whole big rescue operation. But yeah, they cut that out. So it's like, I guess he just leaves it there. Just walks away.
He's just like, I came in, wanted to bring you a hand with flowers because, all right.
Well, who doesn't want that?
I've left. And then I've left, even though when I entered here before I shot your boyfriend, it very much looked like I was going to like take you away. And it's like, okay, but now, all right, whatever. So he's got no follow through, this Joker. He's just like, we'll do it here. No, wait. If I do it here, it'll be much more grand. Like maybe he hasn't figured out his panache yet, and so he's.
In his defense, I think it's just the Joker just likes playing. I think it's more like he's like, I could do it now, but I just like messing with him. So it's like, hey, I could kill Batman right here. I got a gun on him. I could kill him straight right up. But he's like, I want him to see what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be so funny that he's gonna have to deal with me killing all these people with these balloons and stuff. And I think
the balloons.
I think it is. It's just all a game to him. That's it. That's part of it. Is like, yep, this is how I get my kicks. So.
Well, I mean,
Batman's got this look like he's just smelled something terrible.
It's one of those shots, though, is like that cowl doesn't quite fit him right as well. They streamlined that for like the second one.
Oh yeah,
it looked awesome.
Doesn't. You can tell like how stiff he is. Like he clearly is being told to look up at this helicopter where it's supposed to
but
be.
He can't.
And he can't. Like, he looks so uncomfortable. I think that's why he's pursing his lips.
He's like,
this hurts. This is terrible. Could we have maybe shot this differently? Somehow.
Poor guy. Yeah, that is so weird. I've never thought about that. He's clearly in pain.
And I love he's always in pain, John.
Oh, he's in pain deep inside, in his heart,
Life
in his
is
soul.
pain.
Life is pain. I love the next shot as well, because we get a shot of a giant inflatable clown creeping down an alleyway. This scares the crap out of me.
It's pretty creepy.
Same. It is terrifying. And I don't understand why other people aren't terrified. Like, if I saw that thing coming down the street, down the wrong way of a one-way, I might add.
Oh, yep.
The wrong way of a one-way street.
Wrong way.
I would be like, run away. No good can come from this.
As we're going to see in the next minute, they do have a reason to stick around, at least temporarily.
I mean, yeah.
Teaser.
It's just, I feel like for this movie to work, we just have to believe that the citizens of Gotham are all morons.
Yes, they are. In every iteration of Batman, all the citizens are useless. Let's be honest.
Because
why is he saving
them? At this point,
them?
we know enough about the Joker to be like, this probably isn't what he says it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Has he done anything
on a public level, we know this.
Has he done anything to earn trust? Oh my God, that wasn't a reference to.
Oh shit!
I should have pretended that was a deliberate.
That was beautiful.
We can edit that to make it seem like, oh yeah, it was totally intentional.
Yeah. Speaking of trust, we get a brief few seconds of Prince's song "Trust" now, and I was going to talk about it now because in the next minute there's quite a lot to discuss. You do get more of the song, but "Trust" by Prince. It was only available separately from the whole album as a promotional single in Hong Kong for some reason. Yeah, I don't really know why. And it replaced the song 200 Balloons, which Prince had previously submitted for use in this and the upcoming scene. Which I think you can get that as a B-side.
I know it's not, but I would like to believe that 200 Balloons is like his version of 99 Red Balloons.
he's just gone the extra mile.
Well,
he's like, you had 99, I've got 200.
If you want to hear an in-depth discussion of 200 Balloons with me, I talk about that song on Prince Track by Track over with the Movie by Minutes, a previous Movie by Minutes maker, Darren Houston. He has his Prince Track by Track, and me and John have both been on there. And I'm on covering 200 Balloons, so yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I forgot
Product
you did
placement.
That. Well,
but yeah, it was the submission process was. I think apparently this was what the very beginning of like Prince's involvement in the movie was. Burton came to him and said he wanted to use "Baby I'm a Star," which is just like a random Prince song. Prince went no. And then it got wrapped up into like, right, you can do a soundtrack for this movie. He submitted 200 red balloons. Or 200 red balloons. 200 balloons.
200 red balloons. You can't get Luftballon.
Submitted 200 balloons. Tim Burton said, nah. And then he said, I want Baby I'm a Star, and Prince wouldn't budge on it. So what he submitted then was Trust, which has that little that's in Baby I'm a Star as well. So it's like, I'll make you a song. You can't have that song because I said you could, but I'll make you one that's really similar to it, okay? It's like, why don't you just give him the song, dude? What are you doing?
Oh.
Because Prince World. Prince World.
You don't argue with Prince, let's be honest.
No.
If Prince doesn't want to do it, Prince doesn't want to do it.
That's fair enough.
And you can try, but he will not acknowledge that you are arguing.
Yeah.
It will just...
I think he does whatever he wants to do. But unfortunately, like a lot of the soundtrack, he never performed it live. So I want a tribute band to do the whole Batman soundtrack from beginning to end.
See, I'm not a musician myself, but I do like the idea. I think I pitched it one time. Like some band should do like a Halloween gig where they all dress up as different musicians, but they're all musicians who have done songs for the Batman soundtrack. So someone could be there as Prince, and they can do all the Prince songs, and then something they can have like maybe the bass player or like the drummer is Susie Sue, and they do like the face to face, all that stuff. And there's a guy there as Bono, and they can do and the other guy is Seal, and then there'll be like a Billy Corgan looking guy to do the Smashing Pumpkins one for Batman and Robin. I personally would love that. I don't know, maybe it's such a niche idea.
I would.
I don't. How many songs you get out of it though? Because I guess like you have three kind of songs. You got Scandalous at the end credits of this, which were played prominently. Susie Sue song, 2 songs, so that's 7. You only get a set of 8. A set of 8 songs, so maybe that's why no one's done it.
That's okay.
That's amazing. You get someone doing like like a heavy metal version of the Danny Elfman theme or something as well, But I'm sure someone could do something. If a musician out there going, that sounds like an idea, feel free to take that idea, unless you make loads of money out of it somehow, and then I'm going to come for you. But
Copyright Bat Minute 89. The only other note I had actually was earlier on when those guys were shooting at the car and got blown up, presumably, right? You see the exact same actors come up in a couple of minutes in the parade. It's the same guys, 100%.
I think
so either
maybe
Batman.
That's really what Access Chemicals is, guys. It's a clone plant.
Oh my god! Yes, Attack of the Clones.
That's why he had to destroy it. Is because he was afraid that Joker would then attack everything with his really. That's also probably why they're not the smartest.
Yeah.
Is they've been cloned a few times and they're just like
a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Yeah.
It's like that one guy in Multiplicity who's just a little his name, he calls him Steve.
Who was that guy in Multiplicity? That actor, was he in anything else? The guy from Multiplicity. What do you call him again?
You mean Michael Keaton?
No, never.
What? Huh?
Who's Michael? No. Oh, of course.
Michael.
It's all connected, you guys. It's all connected. Birdman, Multiplicity. It's all connected.
Hashtag everything's connected.
There was a clone going around calling Joker Steve. It was weird. I don't know. It's really for the best.
Well, I'm all tapped out for notes again on this one.
Yeah, I'm noted out too. Just some more stuff on this terrifying clown balloon, but I mean, I
think my only thing about this clown balloon that it's kind of something I noticed throughout the entire movie, but you really do on this like close up that's like almost. I think it's like 2 seconds away. It's a second away from the end. You can see its nose. And it's something I've noticed throughout the movie with Joker, where he's got these bright, garish colors, but they always seem really dingy, like dirty somehow.
Yeah, they're slightly
off. And I'm
off.
not sure if it's the lighting or if like they are actually like even the colors he wears. There's something about it that just looks like just slightly desaturated or something, and I'm just. It's gross and it drives me nuts, and I'm sure it's intentional for the Tim Burton, aesthetic. But I'm just like, it drives me nuts because it's not quite the color it's saying, or it was at one point. But then that clown balloon nose was dragged through the dirt, which then I go, how long have you had this balloon? Was it used for other things? I don't know.
That's a good question. Did he have that before he was the Joker? Did he just have that in storage, waiting for a use for it? Or has he made it? He seems to just make everything overnight.
He is, oh my God. We should have Joker DIY crafts.
Hell yes.
He is secretly the king of DIY. It's like, do it yourself. Take over Gotham. Do it yourself.
But this is all stuff though, because I
Watch
mean,
out, Martha Stewart.
we get a lot of trust. We got a lot of these balloons all in the next minute. So I guess maybe we should, hold another summit and do that then potentially.
We will. We'll head off into that dark, dark night now. But Kiri, where can our good listeners find you online?
You can find me online on Twitter, on Facebook under Kiri S. Callaghan. Kiri Callaghan is essentially, you just put it into Google, it's me for pages. I'm on YouTube and Twitch and my website, where you can check out my books, my music, weird little voices that I do on various locations. It's a good old-fashioned fun time, really.
What book are you currently plugging? What's out there that the audience, the listeners can clamor to pick up copies of?
I am still plugging Alice, ALYS, which came out October of last year. I am trying to finish the second installment in that series, but life is just, everything's on fire, including LA.
Oh, God.
Quite literally. Quite literally, LA is on fire. It's kind of upsetting.
Oh.
So hoping to have that done and out before end of next year, but I'm excited. It'll be great.
Hey, well, definitely make sure to check that out, everybody, because it'll be fantastic, I'm sure. And check us out online. We are everywhere you can imagine: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and a Tumblr. If you message us on Tumblr, we'll reply. We just don't use it because there's no traction on Tumblr, seemingly.
I'm a little curious. What does a podcast do on an Instagram?
We just post pictures of, we promote the episodes and then just anything Batman related that we find fun, basically.
That's fair. I was like, they're not very a visual medium. I'm very intrigued.
They're good. They're good. I don't know what you call them on Instagram. Twitter's tweets. They're good grams.
Grams. I think they call them grams, which is perfect because a lot of the Instagram people who are like really into it seem like they do cocaine.
Well, if you are into cocaine and you want to get in touch with us, send us a message on Instagram and rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. That's very, very helpful. We will love you till the end of time. And join us again on Friday because we will be back for minute 94 of Tim Burton's Batman. Sorry, it's 93.
Minute 93, John.
93. Leave in the error, Niall, because it was amusing. 93. See you then.
Next time, a Berserk Bicentennial Bash. With zany Zeppelin zipping down the street, will certain saucy solicitations suddenly stop in the city's seedy underbelly? Find out Friday. Same Bat Pod.
Different Bat Minute.